Drop and Give Me 20 is brought to you by Germono Advertising Company. Drop and Give Me 20 is the podcast for military entrepreneurs. Each episode is around 20 minutes long, giving entrepreneurs a glimpse into the life of other successful military entrepreneurs, learning from their obstacles and gaining insight and inspiration. Podcast episodes focus on the stories, challenges, and wins military entrepreneurs have faced in their businesses. I am your host, Lindsey Germono, and thank you for tuning in. You guys, I am so excited because we are starting season 5 and you are listening to the very raw episode of Claire, Yanta-O'Mahoney, and I as we work through the concept. So I've not done this before. I'm also recording this on Zoom so I get to see Claire. So for those that are listening and you don't get the visual, we're going to upload the visual to the video.
Whatever.
To all the things. So I am your host, Lindsey Germono, and I'm just so blessed to #blessed to have Claire as a friend in my life. And Claire, do we want to go through the background of? Let's just go through the background of us. So people are like, what? Who cares about these two? Yeah, we do this all the time, you guys. Like, listen, seriously, Claire is just one of those people that I could go for months not talking to, and then all of a sudden we get on and we're like, "Dah!" So the problem with the area that we're going to focus on is trying to get this in that 20-minute window, which is going to be literally impossible. So Claire, introduce yourself and tell the people how we met.
Okay. So again, everyone, I'm Claire and I'm so happy to be with you. Like Lindsey said, we just get together and I'm like, yeah, I love how she did that. That is like, we just kind of like go, like we spitball and the ideas come and, but we've been there for each other in all kinds of different chapters of life, which has been a blessing. So my very first memory of meeting Lindsey was, I want to say this was like 2014, I think early 2014, maybe. I had just moved across the country with my husband right after getting married. We moved to Virginia Beach from Southern California where we were stationed at the time and didn't know a single soul, like had zero friends. And so it was a little bit of a lonely beginning, but I had got invited to my sorority alumni club's event. And I thought, okay, who knows? I'll just go. I don't know a single soul. I walked in and it was like a Saturday morning tea or something. And the door opens and Lindsey just gives me the biggest smile and says, "Hey, I'm Lindsey, come on in," and gives me a hug. And I felt this energy from the very beginning and we just hit it off. And we've been friends ever since. I just will never forget that big smile and the open arms and that energy that brought me in, and that friendship and that support and those ideas and that love and that laugh has just been around since I think very early 2014. That's what I remembered. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long. So that's going on like 6 years. So tell everybody about your business.
Yes. So I am a trainer and nutritionist, and I help women and men become the bosses of their bodies. So I have a membership program that Lindsey is a part of. It's this fun club. We do, 2 workouts a week, and every Wednesday we have different kinds of programming from wellness experts coming in to happy hours to Q&As to meditations that I lead. And then I have a 4-month private coaching experience. So in a very large nutshell, that's what I do.
And we have had a lot of fun with that because I got to know Claire before she started this program, and then during, and then for years and years and years from forever to come. So it's just a true testament to, you never know who you're going to meet when you go to all the things. And sometimes you're just not feeling your best, but you just go, and then 6 years later, you will be doing a podcast, co-hosting a podcast with the girl that you meet who opens the door. So I'm going to give Claire an acclimate too, because she has just been tremendous for me as far as my health journey has gone. And I've seen just amazing results with her, but she's also become a very good friend of mine. So now that we've gotten all the warm and fuzzies out of the way, we are listening to season 5, and unfortunately we have to record during COVID. And I hope you're all staying well. And I know that we're tired of hearing all of that, but like, I really do. It's been a struggle. And a part of that struggle is this concept of just really feeling like, down, right? I mean, like we can't freaking travel. We can't go to network. And we can't grow our businesses in the way that we're doing it. So talk to me about how that's looked for you, Claire.
Yeah, this has been, of course, a time that we never would have ever dreamt of living through. But I am definitely someone that gets energy from being with other people and connecting. I really love to connect. And so I think we've all had those kind of struggles with figuring out how do we still stay connected with others, not being able to see them in person as we used to. So I find that through you know, regularly talking with friends and working with Lindsey and working with my different clients. And Zoom has been one of my most best friends, or the vessel to get me to my loved ones, I should say. So that's been huge. And staying connected and listening to things that are uplifting, hearing people's stories, learning from them is something that I always find important. And I think more than ever now, we're really looking um, for the stories, for the inspiration, and the way that humans connect, and because that is what we were meant to do.
Right. And I think that the other thing is I was telling you, so, for those that are listening, I don't produce podcast episodes every single day. It's just not in my bandwidth. The agency that I own is very busy. And so this is kind of my content arm and also my passion project, and it's my community building. So when I started the podcast 5 seasons ago, at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of like conversations around being a military spouse business owner and what that means to me, moving my business from state to state and how to get all that set up. And now I'm so excited because I see those conversations happening more and more, right, Claire? Like, I mean, I feel as if once you are a business owner and you start connecting with other business owners, it opens up this huge network. I mean, you just have to do it, right? You just have to like put yourself out there. But the other thing is that, especially this year, and what we just really skimmed the surface on is how are you really doing? And so when I was talking to Claire about this season 5 concept, she was like, what if we brought people on and just talked to them about how they're no, but how are you really, really doing? And
Sorry.
I thought that was a really great concept because, like, when she asked me that, I was like, I'm not great. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not great. Like, I'm running a remote business. I'm not able to go to all the things. I'm seeing all of these people do these great things. And you guys will hear from another guest coming up, Adam. I was even telling him, like, man, I just feel in a rut. And he was like, Lindsey, you are doing really great things. He's kind of like my cheerleader. And I'm like, but as a military business owner, the advantage of being in the military, obviously, is, kind of you can go through all the things and you go through a lot of change and you adapt. But that doesn't mean that it's easy. And that also means that you very much put on this armor from your very vulnerable place. You just fake it till you make it, right? And put on that smile. But like, we're doing season 5 a little different. We're going to have these roundtable discussions but like layering that crack of how are you really doing? And I'll be honest, this year has sucked.
Yeah. We've had challenges that we would have never expected,
This
for sure.
payroll protection program loan has been a tremendous help for many small businesses. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that I am much more task oriented in business. I'm much more like, here are the goals, we're going to achieve it, and here's what we're going to touch on, then we're out. Where Claire comes in is she's much more of that, like, mental health, mental awareness, and she has the ability to guide you to stop. I mean, Claire, I can just be like, I'm fine, I'm good, let's like do the thing, and you're like, hold on, slow down.
Yeah.
And so why is that so important to you to help folks with that? Like, in your background, and what is it that you feel so called in doing that for?
I think it's because we've been conditioned to answer the question of how are you doing? Like, I'm fine, I'm good, it's great,
Yeah.
I'm cool. And sometimes that's the answer that suffices, but very often when you really say like, nah, how are you really doing, you're going to get so much more. And we go beyond just the surface level of discussions and we dig a little deeper, and we may end up going down this tangent. And tangents are okay. Tangents are like, that's where like the real stuff happens, you know. And just think about when you have, I don't know, I mean, you go to see the doctor or something, and then they go through like the kind of routine stuff, and right there, okay, anything else? That's when you're kind of like, well, actually, you know, and you like start to like, these things come out, and that's where a lot of things can be uncovered, are those extra moments. And when we, you know, ask like, is there anything else, or how are you really doing, we go deeper. And I have always felt, I guess, in life, like my personality type, I love to get to know people, and I can chit chat, and I can talk to a wall, I can talk to anything, but I really get so much fulfillment and satisfaction when I go to that next level. I guess my hands just went down, so I guess I'm feeling deeper, but we also think next level is also up. So if you're watching me, she's like, shoot, where's she going, up or down? So I guess you can take it any direction you want, but just to the place where you are connecting more. And I think that it is just important to go to that next place, because that's when we learn more, and we realize that we're all going through something, and it also helps to kind of shift a perspective of someone. um
True.
there could be, I had to speak with someone on the phone earlier, and this person was not the most friendly to me, and I was thinking, rather than me having just like a knee-jerk reaction, this person's not very nice, I was trying to think, well, maybe this person has had XYZ happen, you know, you just don't know. um and so, like Lindsay said, like I love to kind of get in there and see how people feel. I have a master's of science in psychology, and I love to bring in like the understanding of the self, and motivation, inspiration, but also the tough times, because all of those things make up who we are. Not just the great times, the successful times. It's also little moments of being quiet, those times where you had to show integrity, or those times where, you know, you realize, I have done all I can do, and the right thing right now is to just kind of back up and say I've done what I can. So all of those moments, I apologize, I think my computer is giving me dings and all sorts of things. I should turn it off. I don't know
Okay.
how to do those things.
No, I think this is real talk. This is what really happens when Claire and I get together. It's just things that I'm right before we recorded, the company next door was mowing their lawn. The dogs were wrestling around, so it's fine. I think that those that are listening understand, like, you know,
life
what that's like.
life is what it is. So I guess to kind of round out my explanation of why this is so important is, you know, when we look at like what drives us to do the things we love, to take care of ourselves, to work on businesses, why we care for the people in our lives that we care for, getting deeper and understanding that, and and realizing that all of those things matter, I think is really what makes us human. Our you know, our flaws, and our positive attributes, everything. So I think
Um,
the
I'm
picture.
always very nervous when somebody says that they have a master's in any kind of like psychology or psychiatry, whatever that it is, because I'm like, oh my God, you're not going to analyze me, are you? And she's not, I promise. So if you're listening to this and you are interested in coming on, I promise Claire will not will not dissect you. In fact, you'll find that she's very as real as it gets. Um, and we are looking for guests. So this season is going to be very much a round table, you know, more than one person having a conversation, because you guys are listening. If you want to listen to just me talk, you have 4 other seasons of that. And I need to switch it up. Like I feel like I just creatively need to switch it up. And that's where, you know, I've invited Claire to come in and just kind of help guide those conversations. And plus she has different cues, and she has different things that she wants to ask folks. So I cannot say it enough. I'm so excited about this. Um, I'm going to share, you know, that it's as a military business owner, there's so many resources out there for you. And I'm just glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're listening to this. I had something happen a couple weeks ago, and Claire, I don't think I shared this with you, but I was messaging somebody in our network, who has all the success coming their way. And I was, really just congratulating them on that because I saw, right, you see all the things on social media, you're like, oh my God, this person's blowing up.
Mhm.
And they messaged me back and they were like, oh, I guess they didn't realize that I was still in business. And I was like, huh.
Oh
Like,
man.
what?
Oh,
But yeah, I was like, well,
dude.
F you too. But I was like, but if I think about it, so I was very intentional. I talked about this in another episode that I was a guest on. I was really intentional about 2020 being quieter for me. Well, what happened as a result from that, because I wasn't like driving in social, I mean, we're still very present in social. People who were following stopped seeing posts from me because I wasn't as aggressive with my public relations strategy. But that was intentional. It was for this whole like mental health and just really trying to like quiet some stuff so I could like, you know, and then COVID happened, so it was just a S show. But that was like I was like, oh my God, have I been doing a really bad job at advertising myself and being my own, at the end of the day, like I can let me market what we know, and that is marketing and advertising. So I saw direct response from that intentional 2020 being, saying no to the things. Claire, I've talked to you about that. Like, I've got to say no to stuff. I cannot be everywhere. I can't do all the things. I'm going to make myself crazy. And I needed to focus on my, just my stability. And then like reaching out to somebody to congratulate them. They were like, oh, I didn't realize you're, and I was like, ouch.
I wanted to hear. Come on. Oh gosh. I've had those moments too. And like, yeah, still here. But it is a balance of, trying to get it's hard to know where to focus. And
Yeah.
that's something that we'll get into in the season and talking with different guests about how they practice their self-care, how does that life affects business, business affects life, all of it is intertwined. And so
Like, you people have asked me to set goals for the year. I did that. One of my goals was saying no and all the things. I didn't know this is going to backfire.
yeah, I'm achieving this goal. This is great.
Doing what you told me to do, people. And then another, so perfect day for me is, waking up, having my cup of coffee. Do not ask me to do things like think or people. I can't do that.
Or
Claire can like
people.
wake up and like people. I need
uh,
probably a good hour of just like, I just gotta kind of like process stuff. And I
yeah.
need to like F around with my plants and like, do something that's very like mediocre, quiet. I have my coffee. And then do like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours work and then get a workout in. And I'm still not peopling. So I'm still not peopling until like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And then I'm like game on. So that's a perfect day for me. What is a perfect day for you, Claire?
Great question. I would say for me, it's probably waking up, having some breakfast, having some coffee, writing my gratitude journal, which I do every morning, every evening, unless I'm absolutely zonked. And then I'd say probably a couple hours of work in an ideal world. And then getting like a midday workout in, and then hopefully meetings in the afternoons since I've gotten some of my other work done in the morning. Um, and then, you know, uh, teaching some classes, and then dinner and hanging out with my husband. So that's usually ideal. I would say those days don't always happen. There are other things that happen.
So
But we're
she's
talking
got this, and you
perfect.
have these like different workout time zones. So something that you're doing workout classes. You are a personal trainer, and your classes start sometimes as early as like 7 o'clock in the morning for you.
Oh, this morning was 6:30. I know. And it's funny you talk about being I set my alarm at 6:10 and I was leading the class at 6:30. I've got it down to like I know exactly how much time I need to like get myself ready to go. Brush the teeth, contacts in, clothes on, I have my computer ready to go.
You are a driver. You are such a force. And if you are not connected with Claire, I'll tag her in all the show notes and everything like that. But just search Fleur de Lis Fitness, Claire Yanta-O'Mahoney. Claire, I am so excited about this season. I'm so stoked to get into the nitty gritty. And for those that are listening, again, we are looking for guests. So if you're a military spouse, entrepreneur, veteran entrepreneur, or an active duty business owner, kudos to you, because that's like really hard to do. Please message us. We would love to hear your story. And I mean, just be prepared. We're going to like get a little deep. We're going to ask you, some of the hard questions. And, we have Dropping Gimme 20 has a Facebook group. So feel free to jump in there. It is filled with military business owners that are just like you from every walk of life, or every stage of your business. If you're just like, I don't know, I'm thinking about starting a photography business, come into the group. Or if you've been a photographer for 15 years, come into the group. So I'm so excited. Claire, anything you want to part with?
I just want to say that I echo the excitement and how good it feels to really like dig in there, and to be vulnerable. And I think when we show that, that's our real true self coming out. And Lindsey had said, we have armor up, and sometimes we need that armor. But sometimes, the armor gets heavy to carry. So like the idea of like armor being, put it on sometimes, and then you take it off. And then we kind of get into those different layers of who you are and your business. And I think some really powerful, inspirational, impactful conversations will be had. And I'm just thrilled and excited to think of it as a journey. This is going to be a journey. We're going to see where it goes. And it's a true honor to speak with the future guests that we have on air, and then also to be collaborating with you, Lindsey. We love doing things together. So this just seems like everything just kind of came together in the right way. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
Thank you guys for listening to this introduction episode, and we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you, Claire, and I will be talking to you very soon. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dropping Gimme 20. Dropping Gimme 20 is brought to you by Germono Advertising Company, and we would love to invite you into our network of military entrepreneurs on Facebook. Just search for Dropping Gimme 20 and join the Facebook group.